Hello. I don't know if she's actually going to watch this, but I'm going to be speaking directly to her because yet again I heard something that has me just back stuck on stupid. Harriet said that she called her and apparently she misses me. She just hasn't told anybody. I don't know why Harriet would make something like that up. She seemed pretty lucid when she was telling me. So, my Kira, this video is for you. I'm actually kind of nervous about it, thinking that you might actually watch it. Because I know I don't have any magic words to bring you back. But the only reason I guess I still believe that you might come back is because you're the reason I believe in miracles to begin with. I'm sorry I didn't quit smoking cigarettes. I'm sorry about a lot of things that I need to apologize to you in person for. I don't blame you for leaving. I thought our struggle together was beautiful because I thought we were in it together. All the times everything turned out okay when it seemed like it wasn't. Those were miracles to me, brought forth by the power of our love. I thought that no matter what happened, it would always be okay because we were together. But I never as much as I would pain myself and argue with you over you not remembering the good things, over you not counting your blessings. Since my mom died, I became really guilty of that. And I know I slacked off, and I know I wasn't doing enough. And I was willing to try when you left. I was willing to do more when you left. I wasn't was going to be the end of everything. It was realizing how unhappy you were. That's why I started cooking and cleaning right before you left, because I wanted to show you I wanted to do more. I couldn't wrap my brain around you actually leaving because I never thought you'd leave me. I miss my mer face. I miss my starfish. But it was never that I didn't love you and just didn't want to help out. I wanted to help out. I just felt like I was getting more and more shut out. I didn't know when anybody was doing anything during the week. I'd been wanting to go back to work for a long time. I'm tired of sitting in this fucking house. I was working, I just lost my job. Supposed to be going to be a service advisor at this car lot around the corner. September 1st, they told me to come back. We'll see if I start then. Been just applying here and there in the meantime. But I've been paying the bills. I've been smoking Cheyennes. I can't quit because all I do is sit around and think about you. That's all I fucking do. I just sit around and think about you. Think about how much better I should have done for the girls. Think about how much I fucking slacked off and fucked up and took you for granted after my mom died. Thinking about how I used to be called the best daddy ever. And I don't know when that stopped. I don't know when I stopped deserving that title, you know? If anybody would have told me you're not the best daddy ever anymore, maybe that would have fucking woke me up just fine. Everything I was doing out of love for my family. I didn't want us to have to settle for a mediocre life. I wish somebody would have told me I was stupid sooner. Yeah, I finally found an investor that might have helped us open up the fish store, but I spent too much time planning out big business before we were ready for a small one. And I'm sorry I embarrassed you in front of your boss trying to get him to look at my business plans. I'm sorry I ever asked you to do that. It was stupid of me. I wish you could have just told me that they weren't good enough, that it just wasn't good enough, that nobody's going to be interested in it. I wish you would have just told me that I needed to quit obsessing over that stuff and get a job, because that's what I needed to do. But I really thought I was doing that for my family. I really thought you appreciated all the work that I put into it. I was trying, you know. I guess I was just stuck on stupid. I miss all the things that I used to do for y'all back when I was the best daddy ever. I'd gladly go back to work as soon as I could find a job and let you stay home if you wanted to stay home. The girls were finally old enough to where we could both have jobs. But I didn't deserve for you to wait around. What you did to me really hurt me, but I deserved it. And we both know why I deserved it. Because I didn't take the time to think about how lucky I was to have you. I was doing less and less when I should have done more and more. And if you would just come home, I would do so much more. Still be looking for a job. And I've had to think about everything. I've had time to think about everything. Every time we argued, what I just wasn't getting at the time. And I should have been more understanding. I should have made it my problem, you know? I just don't know when you stopped feeling like you could talk to me anymore. I mean, we were together for 4 years before we got married. And we had had all the damn arguments by the time we got married. We had had all the same arguments. And I guess I never stopped being angry at you for what happened. I never really forgave you. And I had too much pride. Too much pride thinking that you'd be lost without me when it's me who's lost without you. And I am. I'm completely lost without you, baby. And if you're waiting for me to get better on my own, it's not going to happen. I'm just going to get worse and worse because I don't have you. Even if I get a fucking job, it's not going to matter. I feel like the only way I could even keep a job is if I had my family to work for. That's why I kept doing those fucking 11-hour days at Retratana. It wasn't for me, it was for my family. Getting off a disability, which means I could go tell Walmart that I can do 33 hours a week. Because 1,600 a month is better than 900. But right now, I'm still counting on this service advisor job. The only thing I'm worried about is whether or not they'll be able to attract enough business to keep it open. But I'm looking forward to building my resume and building the experience, gaining the experience. I miss you so much. When did we stop being best friends? When did you stop being the person I could talk to about anything? When did you stop loving me? How could you? How could you stop loving me? How can you forget things like the fact that we have identical fucking hands? Our thumbs, our entire hands. Even our lifelines were mirrored. My right hand was the same as her left hand. Her left hand was the same as my right hand. How can you forget how I built our wedding chapel? How I fixed the car that you wrecked? And how much fun we used to have working on cars before the flood just screwed everything up for us. You know, we went through those struggles together because we were poor, but it was beautiful. You're never going to have a love like that again because of your comfort. Remember how proud we were of our motorcycle that we built together? I gave it to Lou, by the way. Gave him my weight bench, gave him all the scrap metal. But I still don't know what to do with the stuff inside of this house. This is our stuff. If we were going to throw it all away, we should have thrown it all away together. I'm sorry for being stubborn about wanting to fucking move into a house with the fish tanks. I should have just shut the damn fish tanks down for you. I thought they were our thing. I thought that was our thing, not just my thing. That's your fish right there. My is your fish. Becca. I have a fish named Becca, for fuck's sake. I have an LSU colored fish named Becca. Named after her sister. I'm sorry none of my fucking plans worked. I wasn't trying to scheme to avoid work. I was scheming because I thought I wasn't supposed to work. Because that's what we had talked about. And every time you let me know we didn't have enough money, I tried everything I could to get the fucking money. I should have quit smoking cigarettes a long time ago. Or I should have switched over to these Cheyenne a long time ago. Because they're cheap as hell. I could quit in an instant if she came back. I would quit in an instant if you came back. And yeah, we'd be stuck in this shitty fucking trailer for a little while until we could move together. But you had no right to abandon me here. Whatever I fucked up, you helped me fuck it up. You enabled me. I can't take all the responsibility for our relationship going south. This is our mess. Our marriage is our mess. We both need to fix it. Please don't fucking divorce me. If you filed the papers already, go unfile them. Because I know that deep in your heart you still love me. I know you can't replace what we had together. And it's just not worth throwing away. It wasn't that gone to begin with. Our marriage wasn't a lost cause. It just seemed that way to you because you had somebody else to talk to. I needed to work on shit. I needed to do better. I know that. I knew that then. I've been thinking about nothing but that for 6 months now. But it's kind of hard to want to improve yourself for your wife when she, having already cheated on you once and promised not to go talking to other guys like that, was talking to another guy like that. And all the stuff about y'all just being friends was bullshit. And that was making me more fucking depressed. I got depressed after my mom died. You know, I'm sorry. When you were in your phone playing video games, playing Candy Crush or whatever, especially when it was you and Trina going back and forth, that was fine. I didn't mind being ignored. But for months and months, you were talking to this other guy more and more. What was I supposed to do? I should have done better. I should have proven myself better than him. But we were married. Competition for you should have stopped a long time ago. When we got married, that's what marriage is. When you work on things together. You don't just shut the other person out and start talking to somebody else. As if he would even understand what we've been through together. Who could possibly understand what we've been through together? I can't even explain it. But I know our love was a miracle. I just started to lose sight of that. I got depressed. And I got depressed before you started talking to the other dude, but you're supposed to be there for your husband. It got depressing me to feel like you were just judging me on what I do for you, as opposed to who I am and who we are together. But now all I want to do is do for you, because I remember who we are together, who we were together. All I want to do is do the kids' laundry for them, cook dinner. You know, the two things that I didn't do. You can't tell me I wasn't the only one cleaning up the living room every day, because I know I cleaned the living room every single day. Twice a day most days. Once before you got up from bed, once before you got home from work. Because those cats would just tear everything up. Between the cats and the kids. I just want to give you foot massages and back rubs and spoil you rotten. I never really slacked off on that kind of stuff. I made sure I gave you a back rub every morning or a foot massage every morning so that you could wake up into a pleasant world. Always had your coffee ready for you. Always got the kids out on the bus on time. I was always on time. I always tried to keep them nice and quiet so you could sleep in. But I would do more. Even if I went back to work. Even when I go back to work. I don't care if I gotta get back on the same schedule I was in during high school. I mean, I don't need much sleep every night. But I miss eating together as a family. I let the kids cook their own dinner too much. I was busy working on other stuff. Thinking about the future. Thinking way too long term. Way too long term. But I had good intentions. And you know, I'm the one who taught them how to cook. I taught Katrina how to cook anyway. Taught her how to grill a chicken breast. Taught her how to make ramen noodles. That was always my biggest concern, was teaching her so that she wouldn't have to depend on anybody. And if anything, I didn't focus enough on Layla. People like to tell, uh, for, it seems like it's been said that I somehow favored Layla because I thought she was my daughter, but that's just not the case. Katrina always got more attention. She always seemed to want more attention. I miss my babies. I just sit around thinking about how much more I could do to teach them and take care of them. How I could be the best daddy ever again. Help them clean their own damn rooms. That's what I should have done a long time ago, is get back there more, just help them clean their rooms more. I should have spent more time in Layla's room playing with her. but we were always just trying to get her to clean her room. We went through a lot together raising those kids, man. They each had some pretty bad phases that we had to deal with. But I gave my life to them. You know, everything I planned for myself, I planned for them. I just didn't do good enough. I just didn't do a good enough job focusing on it. I forgot what I had. We stopped making videos together. And I stopped taking the time to remember how wonderful my wife was and how blessed I was. How amazing my wife was. How amazing you are. How good you took care of me. And I thought I took care of you, but apparently I could have done a lot better. But like this whole thing with the appointments, I thought we had that argument. I didn't think that was going to be ending our marriage. Because you told me to stay home. You told me to go home after your surgery. You told me to do things. You told me not to do things because you didn't want my back to hurt. You told me not to do things because you didn't want my back to hurt. But then you forget that you told me not to do those things, and then you just say I didn't do them. That's not the correct way to remember what happened. And that's, if we get divorced, that's why we're getting divorced, because you can't remember that you told me not to. You told me not to do this. You told me you're going to do this so I don't have to hurt my back. You used to fuss at me for doing too much. And anytime you felt like you were overwhelmed, anytime you lost it because you were overwhelmed, I tried to do more. And I would ask you, what do you need me to do? Ask me to do things. Stop volunteering. Stop taking so much on your own plate. I didn't want to see you working yourself overworking yourself like that. I didn't want to see you tired and grumpy all the time. I would have done anything you asked. Anytime the girls needed something at school, anytime the girls needed to be checked out of school, me to go to your appointments with you, tell me to go to your appointments with you. Like the times that I did bring you to your appointments. You say you have an appointment, and what did I ask? Immediately. Every time you said you had an appointment, I asked you if you had a ride. I didn't ask hoping that I wouldn't have to bring you. I asked because I wanted to make sure that you had a ride. I was going to bring you if you didn't have a ride. But we had these two old cars. Hi, Lacey. We had these two old cars that I didn't want to put a lot of miles on, so if you could get a ride with somebody else across town, that just seemed like a good idea to me. But when it came to your appointments in town, I brought you every time you asked. And I was happy to do it. I'm sorry if I ever complained about anything. Or even, I'm sorry for being blank enough that you thought I was upset about something, even when I wasn't. You need to come home. We need to work on things. We need to make our marriage work. Don't divorce me, please. I mean, do you ever stop thinking about what you want to do for you and consider what God wants you to do? We had our struggles, but we had a good life together. We were in the exact school district that we wanted the kids to be in. Kids had friends they could play with every day. They were finally old enough to where I could go back to work so we could be doing better a little financially. That's all you had to do was wait for me to get my fucking car legal and I would have gone back to work. I'd have quit smoking weed, quit smoking cigarettes. I'm not even going to bother with the comments right now. This video is for Kira. I wish we could just have a normal relationship. No more phenomenal cosmic powers in itty-bitty living space. Just that's where I went wrong. I wasn't taking us to church every Sunday like we should have gone. And that's what I want to do if you come home. I want to go to church with you every Sunday. I want us to go to couples counseling at the church. And I want us to be just a normal couple. Like we never were. Because it's not just that made us a couple. It's not our past lives. It's not our souls. It's what we had in common. It's how well we got along. How much time we could spend just together, bullshitting about nothing, making faces at each other. You don't need to leave, Lacey. Yeah, I'm trying to ignore all the comments right now. Hoping my wife can be talked sense into. Hoping she's willing to give up her new financial comfort for doing what's right. So those girls can have their daddy back. So I can have my Mer face back. This thing with Chris, it's never going to be half of what we had. You can't even compete with the nicknames we had for each other. There's Bumblelion and Butterbear sitting right there. That's us. It was our struggle that made us, that made our love so special. What we went through together. And frankly, it used to be a political point that you were making, that we were making together as a couple, saying that a woman can be the breadwinner as long as the guy's on disability. But it would just be a tragedy. It would just be a tragedy if that divorce goes through. I mean, don't you remember your two beautiful wedding dresses that we got for next to nothing? Don't you remember the freaking sky opening up and basically telling us we belong together? We used to have a rule that I wasn't allowed to wave my hands around during a thunderstorm. Lightning would damn near strike the house every time. But the reversed roles that we had used to be something that we were making a point about doing. We weren't just doing it because we had to. I let her be head of the household to prove that women could be head of the household. You know, I thought what we were doing was worthwhile. I'd hate to say that what she proved is that women can't be head of the household without losing their mind and running off with another man. Every song ever sung, story written, movie produced was made for us. Yeah, we used to believe that. We saw that for ourselves. All these different movies, all these different stories had little pieces of us in there. No, I stayed home with the kids because I was crippled, or am crippled. I'm a fucking cripple. And she went to work because I was collecting disability. I didn't work, so we didn't risk my disability. The time came when the kids got old enough that I should have been looking for part-time work, but waited too long. My license needed to be renewed and expired. Hey, what's up? Somebody at the wrong house. No, but he still has a point, because those are the demons that she succumbed to. She had other people in her ear telling her what to believe, and she forgot what we believed. And then she started seeing the past differently. She forgot why we had the arrangement that we had. Anyway, trying to focus, try not to get caught up in the comments. Yeah, it apparently messed her mind up. But for the most part, she was amazing and strong through it. Where we really messed up was not going to church together. Where we really messed up was still sitting on our thrones when we should have been focusing on having a mortal life together. Especially me, because I was, because she had to work, so she was more grounded in reality than I was. And my mistake was staying too lofty. The time for magic was over, but I couldn't get over it. Yes, of course. Like, baby, if you're watching, if you watch this in the future, I need you to come back now, before I lose too much of myself. Come back while I'm in love with you and ready to change for you. Don't wait till I have a job and a roommate and don't want you anymore. Because it's really easy for me to think that you did me wrong. But right now, I feel like I deserved it. And that's the best time for you to come back. Remember how you used to make things up to me when you cheated on me? Well, this time, even though you cheated on me again, it's going to be me making things up to you. It's going to be me acting as your slave. I'm going to be acting like a fucking butler around here. I might even get a tux. I got a hold of myself just fine, thanks. She sent Mr. Conway a message like she was still watching my videos. So I thought I might make a video just for her. And I haven't been making videos that much lately. Because I've been kind of afraid of her watching and seeing what a sorry fucking state I'm in. But you know what? This is what I look like without you, baby. Just lost. I'm completely lost without you. And if you really want me to get better, come back and let's get better together. entire life lined up together, like we were following each other around the world until we finally found each other. And neither of us had any right to give up on that. Maybe I gave up after my mom died. Maybe I gave up first. That's why I feel like I deserve for you to leave me. But if we would have just been going to church, if we would have just been if I had just been going to work and we would have been just going to church, you would have never had to leave. But you know, I warned you early on that you were going to have problems being faithful because you got right out of one marriage and into another. So I could easily just treat this whole thing like something you just needed to get out of your system. I don't know if I can survive those divorce papers showing up. Misha, down. Because once those divorce papers show up, that's just going to be an end to hope. And, you know, everybody tells me to get over it. Everybody tells me she moved on, so you need to move on. But I remember what we had. And I know she doesn't fucking have that right now. She may have money, but she don't have what we had. And that's what true love is. Once upon a time, fairy tale shit. That's what we had. We had a fairy tale together. I am who I am. I was who I was because of her. She was the one who brought that out in me. But I just wish she would have said a long time ago, let's just be two normal people. I wish she would have let me stop making the damn YouTube videos. Because I just wanted to be a man. I just wanted to be a normal human being. But I can't be anything without her. I can't motivate myself beyond not killing myself. That's it. It's just like all I have the motivation to do is not commit suicide. Well, she was still watching these videos close enough to know that somebody was fucking with me and to tell Mr. Conway the next day. If you knew the love that we had together, if you knew exactly how powerful and meaningful and how close we were, you might not be saying that she won't come back. I'm not saying that she will, but don't rule it out. I can't rule it out. It's the only fucking hope I have. And if she comes back, when it's all said and done, I'll be glad that this happened, because I got a reality check that I needed to realize just how much I love her, just how beautiful she really is, just how lucky I was to have her. All of her flaws, all of our problems, they mean nothing. I failed to take ownership of our relationship. I failed to be the spiritual guide that I should have been. But as far as spiritual guides go, I had a hell of a challenge. And I would think that I could be forgiven, should be forgiven for fucking up. I mean, when you tell somebody that they can get away with anything, don't be surprised if they try to get away with anything. Misha! No ma'am. Go eat your own damn food. Stop eating the dog food. Yeah, this is definitely what evil wants. Evil wants us to be apart. There's no doubt about that. All I can do is wait around for the service advisor job to happen. And hope she comes back before I get over her. Well, all I can do is sit. What else am I going to do? I don't have the gas money to go anywhere. There's nowhere to go. My car can't make it back to New Orleans. All I knew was taking care of my wife and kids. That's all I knew. I just wish she would have given me some time to adjust to get back to work. I would have been happy to go back to work. I went back to work as soon as I got out of the fucking mental hospital. I'm trying not to sit spiritually. I'm going to church every Sunday. I'm trying to learn, trying to get my fucking head back together. And every time I think God is talking to me, He tells me to put the wedding ring back on and have faith. I know evil wants us apart because God wants us back together. And I'm sorry this house doesn't have a dishwasher. But you know, we dealt with it for 7 years. Come back and let's deal with it some more. I'll do a load of dishes every fucking day. Especially if you cook dinner, I'll do the dishes. I'm sorry for being depressed. I'm sorry for being complacent. I'm sorry for taking you for granted. Please come back. I need my Mer. I got depressed, but I should have been stronger. Because my wife was my closest family. She was my best friend. She was everything to me. I only have now. But what should happen now, what would be a victory for God, what would be a victory for goodness, is if she came back and we really just worked on things and forgave each other for everything and just had to reconnect again. There's a thunderstorm moving through. That always has a negative effect on the internet. But to me, it just feels like evil's winning. And if those divorce papers come here without being countermanded, if we really get divorced, evil wins. Because we should have worked on things, baby. We should have communicated with each other better. Maybe you should have given me a reality check and then came back. Or at least been there at work when I went to bring you those chocolates. Because I was already ready to change for you. I was ready to do anything you asked of me. Even drive around with an expired license. That's what I mean by you enabled me. You would let me get away with something like not driving because my license was expired, but then hold it against me. Instead of just saying, you're not going to get pulled over, I need you to risk it. I can't handle all this on my. Or just remind me that's called doing what you have to do. And I'd have been driving around with a no damn license. And if a cop pulled me over, I'd have said, I'm doing this for my family. And like the girls doing chores. That was because they needed to do chores. It wasn't so I can sit on my ass, but when I used to do all the damn chores around here, you used to get on me and you used to tell the girls to take over. I don't know what else to say. It's time for you to come back home. I'm really, I've suffered enough. I've learned my lesson. Please don't throw away what we had. It's not, the trash man hasn't come yet. It's still worth salvaging. And if you can't take your new car with you, my dad has offered the Scion. So we could just go to Florida for a couple weeks together. Or maybe for a few days together. Fly down there and drive back in the Scion. I always tried to make sure you had a nice car to drive. Being stuck with Granny Gumption, that old 93 Accord, sure hasn't made it easy for me to find a new job. Can't really drive it very far. It doesn't like long trips. It gets too heated up. and then it doesn't like to start. I can take it on a long trip and it'll last a long trip, but then the next day when you try to start it, it doesn't want to start. That's what happened when I was working at Richard Honda. But anyways, I'm starting to ramble. And I didn't mean to make this video so long. I just thought maybe if she's really secretly missing me, like Harriet seems to think she told her. And if she's still watching these videos close enough to where she knew that somebody had fucked with me and told me that she was coming back, completely convinced me she was coming back, maybe she'll see this video. And maybe she'll just take a moment. Baby, please. Take a moment to remember what a miracle, a miracle, a mer. Remember what a miracle our love was. How can you tell yourself that doesn't mean anything to you? Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for watching this if you watch this. Thank you for being so good to me and taking such good care of me. Thank you for working so hard to take care of your family. I tried to always make sure that you felt appreciated for that, because it was the least I could do. And I tried to do a lot of other things, they just didn't work. And I'm sorry. I know I can do better. I know that we can do better. And I know it's worth a trying. I know that our marriage is worth trying to put back together. So please, come home. Come back to our mess and let's clean it together. We got a new roof. We can use the closet now. We can use the top shelf of the pantry. The floor still sucks. There's still no dishwasher. Still shitty counter space. But you know, this is our place. We had a lot to be thankful for. Not just negative stuff. And what we had to endure what we weren't so privileged in made us stronger. And we were going to move together one day. I'm sorry that I thought it had to be a house. I'm sorry for not just shutting down the damn fish tanks. Come home and help me shut them down. I can't even bring myself to shut them down because there are fish tanks. We built them together. I still miss my motorcycle, our motorcycle. Wishing I could have fixed it up instead of giving it away. I feel like there's something else I need to tell you. It's torture not being able to talk to you. You know, whatever you can say about what I've thought and believed about myself, I thought and believed that about myself because you told me to. I trusted you to tell me who I was. And I need you back because I don't know who I am anymore. I just know I want to be a good husband and father again. And that our love is worth putting back together. But it needs to happen now. It needs to happen soon. I got the bills paid here. At least got another couple of months before I need to even beg for money again. Mostly because I haven't been spending any money on food. Just been eating ramen noodles and Pop-Tarts. Smoking Cheyenne. So all my paychecks have been just sitting in the bank, going to paying bills and having a little bit of a surplus every month. If you come back, my dad will help us, my aunt will help us, our church will help us, my church will help us. And I can broaden my search for a job, not being worried about what hours I have to be away from the damn animals. Or I can call up or go into Walmart and Winn-Dixie and tell them I'm not worried about keeping my disability anymore. And that's if I can't get a job where they basically said I'm already hired at this place that wants me to be their service advisor. or go sell cars at Ford. The point is, if you come back home, I can support us for a little while. And hopefully I'll be working again in September. And frankly, we could probably pay your car note and what I'm saving on cigarettes right now. I still miss the CRV. But if it wasn't reliable, it wasn't reliable. Too bad I wasn't there to fix it for you. It sure looked good with them damn tires on it. It was a good little truck. It just needed some TLC. Anyways, I'm fucking babbling again. I've already made this video too long. But I just keep talking because I'm just so fucking desperate to talk to her. Please just come talk to me, baby. Just show up. Let me see the girls if you want to. And we can sit and talk while they go play outside or with the neighbors or something. I just want to get on my knees and beg you for forgiveness. Not the other way around. I don't want you to seek my forgiveness at all. I don't even care what you did. I deserved it because I took you for granted. I took my wife for granted, knowing that she was so much more than my wife. And that's how I'm always going to have to remember her if she doesn't come back. As being so much more than a wife. She was my goddess. She was my everything. And I lost sight of that after my mom died. I lost sight of that after my mom died. I probably made her feel shut out. before she shut me out. And I just know that if we got back together, things would be so much better. Because now that I know what it's like to lose her, I could never possibly take her for granted again. But anyways, I guess that's all for this video. I've just been constantly praying for another chance. Constantly praying, God, please bring me my wife back. God, please don't let us get divorced. People are telling me to get over you, to find someone better. There's nothing better. There's no one better. You're all I want. You're the only one for me. You're the only one I could possibly ever be happy with. You're the only one I truly love. I married you because I love you. Please come back.